So far, my two last videos have been about starting where you are, and the last one I think was about giving you the space that you need. And I guess my topics come from my own experience and what I'm sensing in life and the energetics of life. And I am noticing that there's a lot of change going around for a lot of people. And the change is very sudden, very unexpected, and also in many cases it's been a change that's been brewing for quite a while. And there are certain signs that come up when we are in that passage of change, and essentially there is a sense of an energy that is not frustrating, but it can be frustrating for some, because some people are wanting to do something but haven't got the traction yet to be able to make that change. Or on more of a subtle level, in my case for example, I'm really aware that there's lots of things I'm doing differently. They could be about going on a different route. I cycle around, and I would ordinarily go to do a circuit or go to the shops in a certain way, and I'll find that naturally, and my tendency will be to want to start changing the route, and that is very, very telling of how changes are brewing. It's a bit like the kind of the pressure or the tension that tends to be around atmospherically before a thunderstorm, if you like. Some changes could be as drastic as a thunderstorm as well, especially if we don't really heed the signs of change that is brewing on a soul level. So I feel that in a way that the climate of change is really brewing for lots of people, and in order to manage that change you need to go with it. Don't allow your head to get in the way and deny you of the nudges that you're feeling. You want to start trusting from your heart, you want to start engaging from your heart, and by that I mean start listening to how you're feeling rather than thinking and talking yourself out of whatever you might be in the moment. For example, you might be going for a walk and you ordinarily do a route, and somehow there's a bit of a conflict, a moment of conflict between going one way, the way that you're familiar, and the other way that is kind of not your normal route, and you might just instinctively just talk yourself out saying, oh no, I don't go down that way, so I'm just going to carry on and do this. That's the will, that's how we've been trained to start thinking or be, and in essence really that doesn't serve at all. So my guidance for you in this particular video is to really allow yourself to start noticing when you need to really be doing something that's different, and to follow that lead. You know, it could go on for days, this passage could go on for weeks for some of us, and if you're really not taking any heed, life will really just give you a kick up the bum really. You might be in an accident, you might find that you've got a physical or mental, not mental, but an emotional condition might suddenly erupt. You might find yourself crying and getting very emotional a lot, and almost have no clue as to why you're feeling very upset. These things tend to happen partly because we're really not listening and taking time out to listen to the stronger pulls of life. And this is why I did the last video. Now I've only got 3 views for that. I was in fact quite sort of stressed and quite flat myself, I think. I don't really listen back to all my videos or anything like that. I try and do them spontaneously. They're not brilliant, but they are how I'm showing up at the moment. And and it's really important to carve space out. In my when I talked about my last video about giving yourself space, life doesn't really give us the space unless we make time for that space. And what happens is generally in our lives and people's lives, I've noticed that everything gets so busy that we're dealing with all the small things, you know, to do with the letters or your tax returns, or, you know, of course they're all important things, but the daily activity is getting the kids to school, ensuring that you're on time for work, fitting in and rushing around to go into yoga class or even your body work class. And what happens is everything is structured so much that we don't have much time for just a bit of space. And space is a luxury for a lot of people. However, it is an absolute importance in order for us to be able to slow down and to really listen to what life could be saying to us and what it's calling us to do. So I really recommend that while it might be structured in your daily activities, that you do structure some time where you can just sit outside in your garden or on a park bench, or you know, in a space like this is my altar here where I sit and do my meditation and my chanting, and the mornings that I really have to force myself to do it. The other times I just feel very called and moved to sit quietly and then also do my chanting on top of that after a while. And like with anything, it becomes a habit that grows on you and becomes imperative that you start doing it more and more. And I found that having put myself on a 40-day regime of chanting consistently, it's not only made a massive shift in my energetic field, but one thing I really noticed is my sensory ability to notice things, to really be psychic, in the sense I'm sensing things before it happens. I'm sensing a lead. They're very important for me at the moment because I'm actually asking myself what's next in my life. And these things can't be just thought out. The best way for our soul to guide us. And I feel that while these changes are calling us at the moment, I really recommend that you take some time out to sit quietly, to go walking out in nature, as always. And these will always be my regular tips because they're undoubtedly very important, and a lot of people really don't do that at all. Carve yourself some me time, and by that I'm not talking about reading a book or watching a movie, but a time where you can just really just be for the first half an hour of that time and just sit, and then possibly move from that place, as our minds tend to get involved often with the next course of action. And somehow coming from your body is a totally different sense of leading that you do in your life. So that's my tidbit really for change. Notice what's happening. Notice that if you're doing something remarkably different, or you're going for different foods, or you're wanting to go a different route, trust that, don't question it. If you're often eating really stringently and really puristly, and you suddenly feel like you want to eat something like a donut, again, go with it. These things are, life is not about being forced, being in a dictatorship type life. These are long gone patriarchal systems that are really dismantling itself. And we've now got to really listen to our core of ourselves, regardless to what other people might say, including these words of my own, that take it or leave it. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. There's no right or wrong. There's no full truths. Everyone's got their own truths. But these are my findings, and this is what I really believe in. So go for the change. Change is coming. Trust yourself. Listen. Write it out. And more importantly, just really trust yourself and surrender. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.